Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a deal or no deal on the Tarte palette in Make Believe in Yourself. And this is the one with like all the shimmer eyeshadows and the matte shade. So let's get into it. So this palette originally retails for $40 and it's currently being sold for $30. And it's the Make Believe in Yourself palette from Tarte. And the highlighter in the middle is 3 grams, and then each eyeshadow weighs 1.1 grams, so that's quite a bit of product in the actual thing, which evens out to about 0.5 ounces, so it's quite a bit of eyeshadow, and the package is kind of heavy, so it's definitely made well, so you're definitely getting your money's worth with this. It's only good for 12 months, but who listens to that kind of stuff? So it comes with all the colored shadows, and I've been using it for quite a while. I went to Vegas with it and tried it out there, and it did really well in like the extreme heat, like 120 degrees. So we are going to get into swatches and I will tell you my thoughts on it. Alright, so these swatches are going to be without primer, and one will just be one finger, and then next to it will be a brush, and I will label for you which one that is. Alright, so the first shade that we have in the palette is called Myth, and this is the matte brown shade. And then the second shade that we have in the palette is called Magic, and this is more of a dark brown dirt looking color. The next one is called Wings, which is a copper tone red, definitely a red undertone shimmer. The next one is called Marvel, and this is definitely like a goldish kind of with some brown in it, so it's definitely a more deeper gold. It's not like a bright yellow kind of gold. The one after that is called Trance, and this is more of a bronze, a light bronze. This definitely isn't more of a copper. It's a very subtle light bronze, but not subtle since it's definitely a shimmer. The next one is called Fairy, which is the purple shade in the palette. After that, it is Mystic, which it looks like a light blue, but it kind of comes off as a silvery green color with some blue in it, so that one looks really nice. Dream is next in the palette, which is the blue shade. Then it is Crystal, and this shade kind of looks almost exactly like Trance, except it has a little bit more yellow in it. After Crystal comes Pixie, and Pixie is almost sort of like Wings, but this has less of the red and more yellow. It is more of a coppery yellow gold. And then in the middle is the highlighter, which does not have a shade, but it is a pink tint with white kind of yellow highlighter. So now that you guys have seen all these swatches, we can now discuss it further. So the finger swatches obviously looked a lot better than the brush ones, and I just used like a flatter brush from e.l.f. and I would clean it off before like after every color I use, that way they weren't like transferring in colors. But so we'll just go shade by shade and discuss it like that. So the first one that I swatched was the Myth, which is the only matte in the palette. Honestly, I don't really like it. It kind of shows up, but you have to build it up a lot to get that nice transition color. So unless you have like really fair skin, this probably is pretty useless. So it's alright. I like to go into other palettes to use matte shades because this one just doesn't work that well. The next shade in the palette is called Magic, and it is the dark brown shade. And I like to use this one more on like the outer corners of my eye, or like the inner corners like I did today with the halo eye. But I don't really like putting this all over the eye. It's really good for like a dark smoky look, but sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't, but I do like the shade. The next one in the palette is called Wings, and it's the coppery brown, which I do enjoy. It's really good for like the more warm tone kind of days instead of the cool tone. So like something like I'm wearing today, but I'm actually not wearing the shade today. But I do like this shade as well. It's pretty average. The swatches on it are just kind of eh. So yeah. The next shade is called Marvel, and this comes off more as a sort of pure, like, golden shade. And then in the palette, it looks more yellow. So just be aware that it's like a really gold shade. But this looks really nice, like in the middle of the lid, and I do enjoy this shade. The next shade is Trance, and it is the lighter shade right there. Sorry, there's so much glare on the palette. But this one is like a pinky one, but this one is really chunky. Like, that is my only complaint with this, is it gets really chunky on the eye, but it does look nice, and it does give a really nice metallic look. You just have to be careful because it'll give a lot of fallout. Fairy is next in the circle, and this is the purple shade, and this one's kind of just alright. It's definitely from like a more dark smoky look, but it doesn't have as much pigmentation as I would like, so that one's just alright. I don't really care much for it. It's like a B minus C plus kind of thing. The next shade is called Mystic, and this one is really good for a blue. So it's kind of like a silvery blue, and it's not chunky, it goes on smooth, and it looks really nice on the lid, and it gives a nice pop. Dream is the next one, and it's that dark blue. I also don't really care much for this shade at all, which kind of sucks, because I was really hoping that the purple and the blue would work out really well, but the purple was average, and the blue, I don't like it at all. Like, it's like this more weirdish color blue, if that makes sense, like an off tint, and it's like it doesn't go on the lid as well as the other ones. It's not as pigmented, and it's kind of just, you have to build it up a lot to get the color nice, at least on my eyelids, so it's not as vibrant as I would like it, I guess. So we're just going to go to the last two, and that is Crystal and Pixie, and I do both really like these shades. There's nothing wrong with them. There's no fallout or anything. Then with the highlighter in the middle, I think it's completely useless. I don't like it at all as a eyeshadow. It's okay as an inner corner for the eye kind of brightening thing, but for the eyeshadow itself, I don't really like it. It's like a pink off tint kind of highlight, and it's alright, but it doesn't last all day on my skin as a highlight, so I just use it for the inner corner of my eyes and my brow bone, and that's it. So overall, these shades all need a glitter glue. I don't like to use any of them without it. It just falls out everywhere, and it fades throughout the day. It looks really bad by the end of the day, like you barely put on any eyeshadow. And so if you want it to last nicely throughout the day, you have to use a glitter glue. Like, there's no way around it. So I would suggest that. And so out of all of the shades, I don't really like three. So I feel like that's good. It's the highlighting shade in the middle, the dark blue, and the matte. I mean, the purple's okay. I can work with it, but the blue, the middle, and the matte, I don't really like at all. So those aren't good. The price of the palette, which is $30 currently, I think that's about an average price. I think it's actually pretty good because most drugstore palettes that I've seen currently are like $16 to $20. So just spend $10 more and get a nice Tarte palette, and this smells like a sugar cookie almost. And so you get the nice smell, you get really nice glitter shades. You just have to use a glitter glue with them, which is easily, like, you can easily do that. And so I think the price point is really good for this kind of palette. I just wish they would have gotten a different shade instead of this matte shade. I think it's pretty useless. If they were going to use a matte shade, they should have made it more pigmented. That way it would actually show up on the eyelid. But the mirror is really nice and big, and the packaging itself is adorable. and I do really like it. I think it's a deal just because of the price. If it was 40, I would suggest otherwise, but since it's currently on sale for 30, which is the price I got it at, I think it's worth the money. Alright guys, thanks for watching my Deal or No Deal on the Tarte palette. I will be seeing you guys in my next video, and don't forget to subscribe. To put this more on like the outer corners of my eye, or when I'm doing like the halo eye. What, baby? What? What's wrong?